Welcome back. Heavy rains also wreaked havoc in the Eastern Cape. In Port St. John's, the army was deployed to assist with rescue efforts. Our reporter Zikhona Chona filed this report.
We are at Port St. John's Town Hall, where many of the affected residents will be spending the night. We know that at least 300 people have been affected by the flooding in the area, and a lot of people have come out to help them. We know that a couple of churches are also offering shelter for the night. I do have with me one of the affected residents here. Mama, you say your house is flooded, you've lost everything. How are you feeling?
I feel very bad because everything that is in my house has been affected by the floods. And it is not for the first time. In 2010, we were affected by the floods. In 2013, we were affected. Even now, we are affected. Our kids were unable to go to school. Their books are very wet, even the uniform, the school uniform. Even the food that we have in our homes has been affected. It is just a mixture. You meet shoes mixing with food in the house. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So residents here are certainly very devastated by the situation that they find themselves in. Many of them saying they have lost absolutely everything. As my guest has mentioned, children have lost their school books, their school uniforms. So they're really appealing for help from government as well as from anyone who can assist them. Zikhona Chona, Port St. John's in the Eastern Cape.
Further inland, a 12-year-old girl drowned in a swollen river in Mount Freya. Zikhona Chona spoke to the distraught family.
Still numb from the pain of losing her daughter,
inhliziyo yami idlele ebuhlungu ngayo and ndibulalekile ngalomntwana ndibulalekile ndicinga amazwi ebewakhwaza emkana amanzi xa ekhwaza efuna uncedo.
12-year-old Asive Buso drowned in this river while trying to cross the bridge to get to a village on the other side. Her mother was at work at the time. By the time Nomawethu Buso arrived at the scene, it was too late. She recounts Asive's last words spoken to her younger brother, who was with her when she died.
What help me? Engumile. Waphinda futhi wathi help me waveza isandla uthi utsho engumile. Nango ke Asive ecela uncedo. Ethi ndincedeni bo bapha abantu ndincedeni ndiyafa.
Buso says her daughter was a smart little girl who disliked people making fun of her dark skin.
Abantu baphikisana nendalo kaThixo ufika kuthiwa ndingumthukuru ndiyawucinga zonke ezo athi mama ndimhle ngoba ndidende nalo nelizinyo.
What is most painful for the family is how the little girl died, right here, while her 9-year-old brother begged her to stay afloat, not knowing it would be the last time he would see his best friend. Zikhona Chona, Mount Freya in the Eastern Cape.
The Alfred and Sword District Municipality has promised to assist Buso's family with burial arrangements.
First and foremost, let me send the word of condolences to the family, particularly the affected family of the 12-year-old child that he drawn in over the river there. Then, as the district municipality, we have an obligation to help the family, particularly that the family is vulnerable. They can't help themselves. We are going to assist them with a tent and then with some groceries so that they bury their lovely girl with dignity.
In the aftermath of the floods, questions have been raised on how town planning can affect the impact of such disasters.
Your risk-based approach management is not only addressing the imminent issues, but it's all about prediction and looking in terms of the future, how best can we cope? And if you look at these infrastructures, most of the catastrophes can be reduced if you have a proper response emergency rescue plan. And the rescue plan that is currently inexistent in these current infrastructures is that it is commonly essential or effective in more established high-tech yield areas, with little emphasis in those vulnerable groups, your elderly, your low-income earners, those in the informal settlement. And in terms of your pick-up turnaround time, it's kind of like a problem. Let's now look at in ways we can integrate technology to better have focusing and better have actors of health communication network in these communities.
It's very difficult to say with accuracy, because when we are talking about nature, it's something that you won't predict now, that how much rain you will have. You can also just base on the history of what you have in the past, that this is how much rain we have. So yes, in terms of the roads, some areas are prepared, some areas are not prepared. And it depends. If you're talking about your high-income areas, your umhlanga, you're talking about your high-income areas, of course the infrastructures are ready. And that's why we hardly, in some cases, to hear that maybe there's a house collapse because of the floods, because they're prepared, the roads are fine, everything is fine in terms of the planning perspective. But if you're looking at the informal settlement or the low to middle income settlement, that's where you find that there are a lot of problems. Because like I said, I'm talking about cities which is not inclusive in a sense that our cities are not inclusive, and our areas, which are residential areas, are meant to accommodate more people. And these people, when they come, they are not going to go to your high-income areas. They will go to your low-income areas or high-income areas. So we do not have the capacity.
Still to come on Weekend 1, we ask the question, is the past week's extreme weather the new normal? We find out from the experts.